I love Abjuration wizards. Absolutely amazing. Do not sleep on them. We pick our class, which is wizard. When you pick your spells, definitely pick mage armor and shields. Protection from evil and good is also another good one. If you want to be casting abjuration spells, and as a wizard you probably do. So I'm going to level up Gale. He's our model once again. People do seem to love his guess up here, his drip. Apparently that's the cool way of saying it. Right, abjuration. So abjuration spells summon wards, banish enemies, and nullify magic. I'm going to pick some spells. I'm going to pick these because they are ritual spells. What do we get? We get Arcane Ward. I'll show you this later. I'm going to level him up first because it's much easier to do that. So I'm going to pick my spells. Any abjuration spells would be good. I don't have all the spells to choose because I am respecking him and he's learned a lot of spells from scrolls already. I'm not paying too much attention to these spells, though I am trying to pick abjuration spells whenever I see them. Next subclass feature is at level 6, Rejected Ward. When a nearby ally takes damage and you have an active arcane ward, you can sacrifice your ward to reduce the damage they take. So it's a very defensive sort of subclass. I know that isn't always necessarily a good thing, but honestly, this is absolutely amazing. There we are. Abjuration, Planar Binding. Any sort of banishing spell is an abjuration spell. At level 10, we get our last subclass feature. Each time you take a short rest, the intensity of your arcane ward increases by an amount equal to your wizard level. And to get this feature, your wizard level as a minimum is going to be 10. So every time you short rest, you get 10 charges of arcane ward. Again, I'll show you what that does very soon. Now, I'm at level 12. Instead of taking 2 more spells and a feat, I'm going to go through a couple of other spells that are abjuration spells, but not usually available to wizards. So clerics, they've got resistance, which is an abjuration cantrip, and also these 3 spells at the front here. So Shield of Faith, Protection from Evil and Good, although we do get that as a wizard, and Sanctuary are all abjuration spells. Unfortunately, none of them are ritual spells. It'd be a bit broken if they were. Druids don't get anything extra compared to clerics. I'm going to come to Warlock. There's an amazing thing we can do here. I'm going to take Warlock. In particular, we want Armor of Agathis because it is an abjuration spell. And I'll show you some, a very, very good trick we can do with it later. So I'm going to cast Mage Armor, since I generally want to cast Mage Armor. It's a level 1 spell, and I got 1 turn of Arcane Ward. Your Arcane Ward blocks damage equal to its charges, and then loses 1 charge. So at the moment, it will block 1 damage, and then the charge number goes down by 1. So you might think, oh wow, it's just 1 level. What we do want to do is try and increase those charges as much as possible. Here I've got all of the abjuration spells that Gale currently knows. I would wager these are the majority of them. So Protection from Evil and Good, and these are all available to wizards. Shield, Mage Armor, Arcane Lock, Glyph of Warding, Remove Curse, Counterspell, Protection from Energy, sadly, Banishment, Stone Skin, Planar Binding, and Globe of Invulnerability. So let's say I don't want to cast many of these outside of combat. Let's cast Arcane Lock. Let's cast it on the Rosewood desk. That was a level 2 spell, and the number of charges has gone up by 2, for a total of 3. So instead of blocking 1 damage, this now blocks 3 damage, then the charge number goes down to 2, which can then block 2 damage and go down to 1, so for a total of 6 blocked damage. This also works for scrolls, so let's say I had Protection from Evil and Goods. It goes up to 4 because it's a level 1 spell. And since we are level 10, well, level 11 in a wizard, if I take a short rest, it goes up by 11. And that's massive. I'm going to take another short rest, go over the top. And we're up to 22 turns remaining. Google reliably informs me that the sum of the first 22 natural numbers, first 2 integers, is 253. That's the maximum possible damage that can be blocked. But that doesn't mean we'll always block that much. So if I get my monk here to hit Gale, whack! So Gale took no damage because I rolled 11 damage minus 22. So actually I only blocked 11 damage there. But if there was a more dangerous spell that had been incoming, it would have blocked more damage. And then Gale has 21 different charges left. I'll use Moonbeam here. Oh, that should have worked. But then attack Astarion. We get the reaction. Projected Ward. When a nearby ally takes damage, you can use your Arcane Ward to reduce the damage equal blah blah blah. That didn't work with Moonbeam just now, but it seems to work with attacks. Boom, stopped. Now again, I didn't actually block 21 damage. Total of 12 minus 21 equals minus 9 damage. So only blocked 12 damage, but it stopped Starring from taking any damage. So I'm going to go find some trouble, carrying out my favorite pastime of fighting the Flaming Fist, and then I'll show you something ridiculous. So the ridiculousness is going to start with Gale casting Armor of Agathis, but instead of using a level 1 spell slot, I'm going to go to the extreme and use a level 6 spell slot. What is Armor of Agathis? In case you were wondering, for every level of spell slot that you have used, you get 5 temporary hit points and you deal 5 cold damage. Since I've used a level 6 spell slot, I get 30 temporary hit points and I deal 30 cold damage to any creature that hits you with a melee attack. In fact, I don't particularly want to have an overly high armor class, so I've got that. Then I'm going to cast Blade Ward. Then I'm going to start a fight. Or in fact, before I start a fight. Again, this is just for the purpose of the video, so I'm going a bit over the top compared to usual, but this will do. I made some people wet. She's going to attack. I'm going to wait for Gale's turn. This is Gale. Gale's going to Misty Step. So the ridiculousness comes in. Blade Ward isn't even really needed, but I'm going to try and get opportunity attacks from these guys. Because what's going to happen, they're going to attack us. If they hit us, they're going to do basically no damage. I've lost 1 charge of Arcane Ward, and he just did 60 damage to himself because he's wet. And the best thing is, because no damage was done to Gale, he still has his temporary hit points. As soon as he loses his temporary hit points, he stops doing 30 damage, or 60 if they're wet, to enemies who hit him. Hopefully you can see that Gale's going to be very difficult to take down. Good, this one's coming closer. And I can, if I want to, I can put the ward out onto Tav. I've got so many charges left, I may as well. There is a reaction, so I can only use it once per round. We can't reduce the damage for every single attack. Oh well, sadly the Lupus Optimus wasn't wet, it's just been summoned. Enemies who have ranged weapons will not take opportunity attacks, so there'd be no point in running up to here to fist Clover. I'm going to try and get these guys to attack me in the middle. There we are, 60 damage done. I actually want to stop that. Now this will actually recharge some of my ward. There we are. Arcane Ward is back up to 20, it was at 17 before. I do want to point out that there is this Shield of Devotion, which gives aid, which is also an Abjuration spell. Oh, counterspelled. Okay, not getting that this time. So at this point, I'm probably not going to be able to get anyone to attack Gale with an opportunity attack. But even without enemies that are wet, if Gale was by himself and everyone was ganging up on him in melee, he'd be doing loads of damage. And I might actually go and do that. So I'm back here like nothing ever happened. And Gale is here by himself this time. Well, I haven't made anyone wet. Let's see what happens. Ooh, Wolfie. I'm not going to use shields. Yeah, just took 60 damage. So what I'm going to do is provoke some opportunity attacks. Don't want to use any of these. One thing I will say is that if you have to use the Arcane Ward on the wizard, that doesn't use a reaction. It's just when you're trying to save someone else that it uses a reaction. Wow, I do a bit of damage. Oh, counterspelled through the wall. Bit annoying. Can I provoke another attack? Yes, I can. Hopefully not being knocked prone. So we're losing a few charges. So what we're going to do, going to get these charges back by casting Arcane Lock. So these guys can't get in unless they knock down the door. Apparently we can look through the walls. The maximum number of charges for Arcane Ward is equal to 2 times your wizard level. I'm going to go a bit over the top. I've wasted effectively an Arcane Ward charge there, but I'm now at maximum again. Oh, and it's gone. Right, my turn. Slightly annoying, so I can't get very far. Oh, I can get far enough. Right. What am I going to do? I gave Gale some water. Oh, here it is. So I can get some of these people wet. Not everyone. The area isn't huge. One person wet. 60 damage. Thank you very much. Oh, I miss. No damage. Down to 19 wards. I'm going to be safe for some time yet. Alright, my turn. What am I going to do? Just going to walk away. 30 damage to you. 30 damage to you. 30 damage to you. This is why we don't want an armor class that's too high, because then actually we might not be able to get a hit. If we don't get hit, we don't do any damage. Now, I have used a level 6 spell slot to do this, bear in mind. I took one short rest also to maximize his arcane ward charges. Anyway, I don't need to show you anymore, I don't think. You can see here that with this combination of Armor of Agathis and Arcane Ward, we're going well over the top. Well, let's just do some damage. That did negate 16 damage. It actually took some damage because that was quite a high level spell that was cast there. So let me know what you think about Abjuration Wizards. Have you been sleeping on them? Are you going to use this slightly ridiculous kind of combination that we've got going here? So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've learned something here and why Abjuration Wizards are great. Oh, goodbye. If you made it this far, please do consider subscribing. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.